But like, okay, you know what? Let's go back to JP really quick. So I know it's probably too early to say, but is he still a good character?
JP's problem from the get-go was that he was good and a scrub killer. You can't have both. You can have one or the other. You can have Sim be mid-tier at best, but a scrub killer. You can have Honda be low-tier, but a scrub killer. But you can't have a top-tier scrub killer because then there's just the scrubs will riot.
That's true. That's so true. That's actually I like that. I like that. That's true, right?
Hello, and welcome to the Absolute Guard podcast. We're a competitive fighting game community podcast examining history and current events from the lens of the Arizona grassroots scene.
Yes, welcome. This is episode 85. My name is Benny, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, John. And then we're also joined today by our two most popular, well, maybe not popular, I don't know, but the most common people that we have on the podcast, Sabre and Thrasher. What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up?
Yeah,
I'll take both. I'll take both.
They're popular in my heart. That's why we keep inviting them back.
Yeah. No, I was kind of like thinking about it. I was like, well, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Would you vote for them for student government? Are they really the popular kids?
Yeah, I would.
Nice.
Good question.
Those the popular kids that were voted in, though. So I don't know.
I don't think popular kids ran for student council.
That's true. They accrued followers in their own way.
Yeah, right.
Is that what influencer culture is? Just nowadays, it's just the popular kids, and then everyone hangs on their words. I'm just thinking out loud.
I don't know, because like there's a lot of people out there that are there's a lot of influence out there that are doing fake things. You know what I mean? Like you see those. You think that they're out in Cabo or something, or on a plane, and they're like in a studio in LA somewhere in some like fake set. So
okay,
I don't know.
They have Benny just looked like he was in prison a few minutes ago. They just put a beach in the background.
It's like you don't know
green screens and stuff like that. Yeah,
so say don't trust anybody, Benny. They could all be an elaborate ruse. These influencers aren't real people.
Yeah, don't trust anyone.
This entire podcast is AI generated. Those patch notes are AI generated too.
Oh shit.
We should do that sometime and just punch that in a chat GPT. How would you balance season 3 of Street Fighter 6?
Oh man.
It would scrape Twitter, and then it would probably provide all the balance all the balance requests that people have on Twitter.
And probably look at all like the trending things. Yeah, probably look at all the trending things. It's like, yeah, a lot of people are catching medium punch by Luke seems to be very popular. So we'll make this move better. Like what?
I would say like, what would you do for season 3? Use only x.com as resource.
Oh man,
dude.
It's been wild out there on Twitter /X.
It is, man.
The amount of cope that's happened since the patch came out, and then this past weekend we had Combo Breaker happen. So
that was interesting.
I didn't honestly watch any of it. I know who won, and I saw like a little bit of the grand finals, and that was about it. But like, yeah, I don't know how. Like, did you guys see anything in terms of like the chat or anything else on Twitter about people complaining about them using the patch?
No, because Rick had polled the players, and like 80 something percent wanted it. Here's the thing, man. I think it should be a non-question, because it's not like back in the day where like, you know, we had this problem in the 2000s, like a new Guilty Gear XX came out every time Evo rolled around. But back then you had to buy a new physical copy in order to play that new version, right? And they were always imported. It wasn't easy. Now we're getting these patches day one. You can't even go back to the old version. So you're asking people basically, hey, if you're going to play on the old version, hey, we're going to ask you to play the whole week without playing this new version. Don't download the patch, which means you can't play it online, which means you can't practice. It's just not feasible anymore. You have to play on the new patch.
Yeah. That's a good point, because I think Tanner brought that up in the last episode that we had, was in terms of like the competitive things. Like, you know, we talked about that on a couple episodes back, was just like, would you want to play as a competitor? But I mean, that's a great point, because like, unless you're offline locals and sessions and stuff are popping like that, like how are you going to get sessions in without being online, or how are you going to get games in without being online and being on an updated version? Like it's going to be pretty much impossible.
It's impossible.
Yeah, I think Tanner put it best in the last episode. So check out episode 84 if you haven't yet. He said that sometimes the competitive side takes the backseat to the logistics side, and yeah, it's true. It's not really practical to have people unplug their computers and for several days,
sense.
you know. Yeah. Now I will say though, like if I was, never mind. You know what? That doesn't matter. Yeah, I agree.
There's always going to.
I just don't know how else.
No matter what, like in that situation, like you already paid to go there, so I get why you could be a little upset if you're like, you know, a JP player or something.
The only people that are pissed are JP players and DJ players.
Yeah.
Those are the only players that are pissed off.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the results were interesting from that tournament too, right? It was
very, very interesting.
Do we want to spoil it on this show here? The first major for season 2 was won by a Lily player.
I don't know. It's been 4 days. By the time this comes out, it'll be what? Oh no, it'll be like almost a week.
So a lot of people were saying that she didn't get enough, where I felt like she didn't need much. She was just missing a couple of things that literally everybody else could do, like counter hit jab into another normal.
Yeah.
You know, it was just stuff like that, speeding up, you know, her level 1. So now she has new combo routes and all that. And now she has less pushback on the wind charge. I'm like, dude, like, what is there not to love about these changes? People were complaining that she didn't get enough, and it's just typical. Like, I want my character to be so busted, and it's just like, well, maybe your character wasn't that far from being busted.
Yeah, and by she, like,
you don't know.
If you don't know, Scott's referring to Lily of all characters, and it's just like, we brought that up too in terms of like that's like John's asked me, asked me all the time, like, what do I think Sim needs, and I'm like, you know, there's things that I would love to have, but at the same time, like as a competitor and as like looking at it in the lens of being like fair, like there's things that I don't think that he needs. Like I don't think there's a ton that he needs, but you know, from looking at the Sim Discord, there were people that were disappointed about the fact that he didn't have new things to deal with, or this move wasn't faster, or this move wasn't 6 frames, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, what were you guys expecting? Like, you know,
and it's like I always say, man. Sim slowly creeps up in the charts because he largely goes unchanged. He just organically rises because everyone else is getting lowered. It's starting to get more balanced in that way. He doesn't need a lot. He really doesn't. That new change, that new fix gave him some. That new change with the standing fierce kick gave him some. But you know, we're messing with the other night. Gave him some pretty cool options. You know, and with a character that has a million options.
Yeah. Then I was gonna say the other thing too, like defensively, as you learn more about the game and like how offense works and like setups and stuff like that, like you naturally become a better defender as well. So that, you know, if you play Sim, like you get used to like what to expect and what people or what the characters can do. So like naturally, just as from experience, like you become a better defensive player as well.
Yeah, people just don't like change. You spent a year learning how to play a character, and now maybe you have to play it differently. And
I get it.
Complaining regardless.
I get it, and I feel like in this patch, I feel like for the most part they were trying to make changes to where it didn't really change the meta for each character that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like their general game plan.
Right. You know how like some patches, man, it's just like your combo routes are 100% different. You know, or it just steers towards some other type of game plan. And I feel like everyone in this game, for the most part, is retaining their core signature game plan.
Yeah. In terms of like the changes and stuff, like so you mentioned DJ, and that's the character that you've been playing the most. You know, pretty much since you swapped out of Ken around launch time. Like, what did you think of the changes for DJ? Because like from what I heard from people online, they were just like, oh man, you took out combo routes and this and that. But then at the same time, like I started seeing other things develop. It was almost the same thing like Marissa. People were like, oh, that target combo change they put in the trailer is nothing. But then all of a sudden, I see Big Bird here putting out safe jump tech from like mid screen and stuff that didn't exist, and he's just like, oh, this is really great. Or our corner damage went up by like a 500 or 1,000 damage.
And yeah, she could do over 8,000 damage now.
Yeah, and like you guys are so quick to just kind of like throw things out of the window or just be like, oh, this is useless. But it's a teaser trailer. Like they were just showing like a glimpse of like what potentially changed. Like you didn't even get a chance to test things out. So what did you think about the DJ stuff?
So obviously, if you go looking at it, the whole picture, having all the context, I do think he is the biggest loser in this patch, along with JP. I do 100% agree with that. Does that necessarily mean that he's just trash now? No. People were bitching when they saw that one Maximilian video where he lost his one mid-screen juggle.
Yeah.
With the sway. And I'm just like, okay, that's not even his most damaging route to begin with. So if I lose that, who gives a crap? I don't care. I don't even care. I just did it for fun, but it doesn't really do anything. So I was just like, so we're freaking out over this. And I mean, there may be a couple things I don't really agree with overall, but it doesn't really change how he plays. He still plays exactly the same. His game plan, hey, Booty.
My cat is totally just enjoying the podcast. So
moon shining.
Yeah. So he hasn't changed in the slightest. I play him exactly the same way. The only thing that has changed is that these new routes that people are discovering, these routes already existed.
Yeah.
It's just it was forcing people to start looking outside the box a little more and find new ways to get your big damage in.
Yeah.
It's just, but everything other than that one juggle, everything still works. You can still execute his game plan. You might have to you might have to touch him one more time in some scenarios. I can still two-touch.
Yeah.
He can still two-touch if he wants to. It's just now, okay, they nerfed the damage on the standing fierce punch, which I don't really agree with because that button's a little janky. Depending on the spacing, it can whiff on crouchers and not be within the cancel frames. All right, it's a really iffy button to begin with, so I don't really agree with that. But all you do is you just start your combo with the Fierce Fireball, which does like 1,300 damage on counter hit. And now, now I got a bigger damage route now if I just started with that, even though it's a little trickier to do, but it works. So I feel like he's fine overall. It's just that, he's going to move down the tier list a little bit, but he's still going to be high tier because everything still works. All the things that people bitch about with DJ, it still exists.
Yeah.
You got to deal with the just cool. You got to deal with me randomly just like, I'm going to hit you with a just cool counter hit and launch your ass and get Noki off it. You still have to deal with all that. You have to deal with my medium kick, Sobot kick, just knocking you down. And me doing it at max range, and my -6 just doesn't matter.
I played a DJ in the hub earlier, and like I didn't really notice a difference. Like there was a couple times where I got mixed or I got hit or something, and I was like looking at my life bar, and I was just like, okay, like I don't really see a damage nerf here.
He still hurts.
Yeah, exactly.
He still hurts just like everybody else. But it's just people just not getting the context. People just look at one list of a character, look at a couple things, and they're not looking at the context of the whole game.
Yeah.
Right? Because it could be changed because of all the changes that they're doing with other characters. It was just like when people were bitching about Marissa. Yeah, she got some nerfs, but then all of a sudden she's way more plus on these other things. She's got new combo routes and whatever, and really the biggest problem she got was that she's got like an extra 5 frames of recovery on her level 3 now. So at least now you can actually escape her checkmate scenarios.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
a big thing,
but she does get new combo routes now. And I'm like, okay, well now anyway. But so it's just now, oh, what are they doing here? Now he's like, oh wow, wait, never mind. This character's actually better.
Yeah. So what about you, Mike? Like, I honestly I haven't even looked through Jury's patch notes of all things. Like, there's like half the characters I didn't even look through. But was there anything, from what I understood, there wasn't really anything much that changed with Jury at all?
Your target combo.
Yeah, the target combo is weird. Like it's almost like now there's a little bit of a gap, so it kind of frame traps you if you do it. Before it was a block string.
Okay.
But you can also cancel super off of the second hit of it now, which is, I mean, it's something I don't really see because I tried it. It's not really confirmable.
Wait. I thought there was a 3-hit chain that does that.
Yeah. They call it in the patch notes the second hit, but it's like the first hit of the target combo. Otherwise, it's just a strong, right? So the first heavy punch would be technically the second hit or the first hit. Then the second hit, the follow-up fierce after is what they call the second hit, based off the patch notes, because it says the second hit is canceled.
I don't know. I saw a 3-hit. I saw a 3-hit, and I saw a cancel. That's what I saw.
Yeah. No, it's definitely.
It's just how the word surge.
It's definitely the third hit, but it's the second heavy punch portion of that. She can also combo into EX Fuha, which previously had no purpose before. Now you can combo off of jabs and the light kick. So you can do crouch jab, stand light kick, EX Fuha, and get the juggle.
Yeah, 4 lights, huh? Damn.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know anyone else that could do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. She could do it before, but she would have to go light kick into light DP. But now she can spend the bar. Makes it a little bit easier to get like a level 3 conversion.
Does she get any kind of Oki afterwards?
Oh yeah, I mean standard Oki after the launch. Yeah, it's the same as the heavy. So you get the follow up DP. Oh, okay. So you can do light DP in the super or just do the super. But she also there's something that was like they changed that I didn't even know existed. I saw it, but I never knew how to do it or what it was. But on her level 1, you can hold a kick and it changes it slightly. It does like 100 more damage for whatever reason. And there's like a different.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I play her. I didn't like when I would look at the when I would look at the frame app, I would see that there was the second version of the level 1, but it didn't explain. I didn't really. You didn't look like you got anything else for it, so I didn't dig into it. But yeah, it makes like an audible, like a different noise. It's just like a whomp, and then it does the fireball.
So is it like a slower startup or what?
No, like it's literally just you hold a kick button while it's happening, and it'll do the final hit. Does like
doesn't it use a stock? I thought that was the difference. Is it uses a stock versus doesn't use a stock?
Oh,
and if you use a stock, it does more damage.
Oh, maybe that's it. I didn't.
Because I was wondering. Yeah, because I was wondering. I'm like.
Oh yeah, it's a 0 stock, 1 stock.
Oh,
okay. So
I was like, what would be the point of never doing it? Why would you never do it then? You know.
Well, then it's not worth it. It's not worth it then to do it because like I would never want to give up a stock unless it's like I want to see if this will kill. But if it, like the amount of times that 100 damage, in a game where you're calculating damage in the thousands, it's essentially like 10 damage in the other game. That I think it's about 100 damage. It's a very small amount of damage to use a stock on that. Unless it's like literally the difference between a pixel. But I would never be confident in my ability to tell that little bit of extra damage is going to kill, Yeah.
So give that up. Yeah.
They nerfed her low forward very slightly. It's like literally I don't even care because I've been getting that her low forward was already the range makes it less fair, but it has slower startup. And it hung out there like a low forward should already. Now it hangs out there for just a little bit longer. I was already getting whiff punish for whiffing it, so I'm fine with them making it a little bit worse. She lost a little bit too. Yeah, she lost a little bit of
got their low forward nerfed and the recovery and stuff on it. So
yeah,
not just you. It's the whole meta of the game around low forward drive rush, man.
Yeah. I'm glad, like space it better. Don't just buffer it and hope for the best, like
agree.
I'm all for it. But she lost her jump medium punch, lost a little bit of damage, like 200 damage.
200 damage,
but they fixed her dive kick that used to clip normals and she would go flying up in the air.
Rest of it whiff.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's fixed. I haven't had that happen again. Apparently, it even works on Dhalsim, like Stand Strong, is what I heard through Twitter when that change was found in their little like test edition of the game. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm sure Benny and I will figure out if that works at some point. But yeah, she didn't really change much at all.
Yeah, and the medium kicks are more consistent now on the second hit.
Is it? What do you mean a stand medium kick? Like,
yeah, they said that the standing medium kick, the second hit, could possibly whiff, and they actually lowered the hurt box so it hits like pretty much 100% now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I played her. You know, I played some matches yesterday, and she feels completely fine to me. I can play her exactly the way I was playing her before. Like I said, I haven't really found a spot for the target combo change yet. But you know, with time.
Yeah, see, that was kind of like the general consensus I got from a lot of the characters, was just like they didn't really want to change like how they played, because like I think that's one thing I agree with and that I like, because like that's, you know, like you said, like you play on a patch version, or play this version for like a year or whatever, you get used to certain combo routes or whatever, and it's just like, I understand like damage nerfs, you know, that's fine, like, you know, it doesn't change like what you do, like what you're doing might not be optimal anymore, so it might be like, okay, maybe I don't do this anymore because it's, you know, I'm burning more meter than it's worth, but you know, I could still honestly play the character the same way that I did before. But it's just like, yeah, there's might be new things that I gotta work into my muscle memory or stuff like that.
Do you feel the damage nerfs at all on either of your characters, or any of you on your characters?
I was gonna say I do, because Sim uses the he doesn't get a lot off of his jabs, but he does get the canceling into the blast is big for Oki. But then, like, damage-wise, it's like, is it worth going for that and, you know, spending the 3 bars to get that little bit of Oki, or is it better for me to use something like EX Fire, which funny enough was like that was the one thing in my muscle memory that I kept on doing a lot, and it was a criticism of like I've had from like, I think it was from you and some other people, like, why do you do this all the time? And a lot of times it was just like, well, I'm trying to protect myself from DIs or something like that, right? And now it's almost like the more optimal thing to do, from what I'm seeing from some of the Sims. They're like, yeah, I usually just do this now. I jab and I EX Fire because I still get a knockdown, and you know, it's less meter. So I was just like, so maybe I was ahead of my time. I don't know.
I would say for me, there is one damage route where I probably will not do anymore unless I know it kills, and that's just doing a simple light Sobot level 3. Boy, it does no damage.
Yeah.
It does no damage now. That's like, oh yeah, that would hurt. That one hurts, but that just means I do something else.
Yeah. Exactly.
How about you, Mike? You feeling the damage nerfs?
I felt Scott's damage nerfs yesterday when we played. I was like, yeah, there's a lot of times that I'm not losing 50% anymore.
It's true. But there was a couple times where I felt like I probably would have had him in the last patch, but and he ended up closing me out.
Yeah, there were so many times where I was like, shit, I'm about to lose. Like,
you're like, oh, that's not too bad.
It's all right. It's only 40%. That's manageable. But, I mean, Jury didn't really like. She doesn't have like they actually gave her jab stuff now more so than she had before. So I was already used to not using jab that often in my combos, so I don't really feel damage nerfs or anything. Now,
you didn't really need to. You had that freaking crouch medium punch that like hits everything.
Crouch medium punch is good. You're meeting with stand medium punch, so like you're not starting things with jab, you know?
Yeah. I'm over here mashing jab for my life. Like, get off of me. I was like, oh, I got a straight hit. Let's go.
Oh, man. Now, what about Chun, buddy?
Yeah, I would love to go out to soapbox on Chun for a little bit. I didn't get a chance to do that last show. So she's worse. She got nerfed. The big thing is like her walk speed got nerfed, which I don't know of any other characters that got hit there.
Wow.
and to be fair, like her walk speed was really, really good. So there's actually like
there was just a backwards walk though, right?
It was they didn't have the backwards walk. Yeah, I honestly, like, there's a good side to that where, like, when I play with Chun and I'm shimmying, I can often walk back too far to actually like punish somebody with a proper shimmy setup. And so what I would have to do is I'd have to back up and stop manually and then eyeball it. But when you're in the middle of a match and you're eyeballing it and it's like it's because it's so quick, right? I would often just get thrown because I didn't walk far enough back. So it's nice to have like less walk speed, so that way I can just hold back and then not have to worry about like placing myself specifically in the right spot. But on the flip side, I don't really know yet, but I'm pretty sure I won't be able to walk out of certain strings anymore, which is also very fair.
Yeah.
So that's like the biggest nerf that I think she took.
But is she still like the best walker? Is she still got the best speed? Maybe
Akuma. Akuma's got better. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Akuma lately, and he's got better walk speed for sure. I would even say Kim possibly has better walk speed now too. But again, she doesn't need the best walk speed. Also, she has a backdash that's absolutely insane. So it's not the end of the world. The other like biggest nerf that I think she got was the forward medium punch. Yeah. So like they shortened the cancel window on it, so it's harder to confirm. It actually is still doable to confirm, but I wouldn't trust it. Like I wouldn't trust like PC versus PS5 difference. It's pretty narrow. But on the other hand, like they did buff it in different ways. They made it so that way it doesn't push back as far, so I can actually convert off it a little bit easier now too. So it's like a harder. They made it so it's less like reactable to like actually confirm into stuff, but they gave me like new routes to confirm into it if I commit. So it's not the end of the world either, but you won't see me like fishing with forward strong and a super anymore because that's just not practical.
How's the fireball nerf feel?
No, there is no fireball nerf.
I thought there was.
That was falsely reported by Goichi, and he actually released a video recently where he
was like,
I was wrong.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's not. No, so that came out in the Loke test. The Japanese did, and like that was just imagined. So the fireball's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Darn.
Yeah. Other nerfs are like the universal nerfs. I think hit her kind of hard because like low forward DRC and low forwards being worse overall, and jabs like increasing scaling. Like those are Chun-Li's main ways of attacking you. I saw her jabs into OD into level 2, and I was like, ooh. Yeah.
Ooh. But I thought that was fair. But I still think that's fair just because of what you get, the utility you get off that super.
I don't know if this is updated. I don't know if this is updated, but I was looking at the supercombo.gg wiki, and it says walk speed. Well, forward walk speed, it's Kim, Akuma, Cammy, Kim, and then Chun. And then backwards walk speed, it's still showing Chun as the fastest. So I don't know if hers was just like absurdly fast, and then like now it's a little bit more closer. It says like 0.037. Yeah, but I don't know. They added Akuma, so I'm thinking it might be or maybe not. I don't know, but
yeah, I know for Jury, like certain block strings didn't work on Chun because you just hold back out of it. So I'm hoping that's different now. I think my favorite Chun nerf is, and I don't know if it actually fixed it yet, but her legs have a better hurt box when she's jabbing now. So if you try and check her walk for a jab, it looks like it may. I haven't really played against a Chun yet, but I'm hoping that means when I try and jab her walking forward, I don't just get counter hit anymore or punish countered because my jab whiffs. So I'm hoping that fixed it. Because I hate that damn button.
A lot of people really dislike Chun's jab. Another nerf that I think is kind of it's substantial. I think is the standing roundhouse where they added some scaling to it. So if you start a combo, what's up?
Just seems like that's everybody too.
Yeah,
it's like they're really hitting the fierces a lot.
That's the float killer.
Well, that's the thing is it targets my anti-air. That's actually the big thing.
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah,
that anti-air, giant anti-air standing roundhouse combos is just going to do 10% less damage now. So
that's 20%.
Yeah. But then overall,
Oh,
like if you like take the numbers on the full combo, now it totals out to 10%.
Gotcha.
But then other than that, they buffed everything else about her. So like you'll actually see a lot of Japanese Chun players all being like, she's really good still, and she's Bokeh was like, she's safe, you know, like baseball terms.
That's how I felt just from looking at her. That's how I felt. I feel like she's still gonna be like a pretty strong contender.
Yeah.
I think so too.
The most notable buff they gave her is Stand Fierce. That's the one I think everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
So that Stand Fierce, it went from being -4 to -3, which is actually a pretty big deal because that changes it from punishable to safe, and then plus in burnout, right? Or plus on a drive rush. And then it also has like implications for stance cancels. So like now I can actually do like Fierce into stance into frame trap stuff, and that gets. It kind of reminds me of Step Kick from Abel in a lot of ways, where we could just be in neutral and then you just gonna eat a frame trap from mid screen. Like that doesn't really happen very often, I think. There's weaknesses to it, obviously. Like you guys know it pretty well. You can jump it, you can do all kinds of stuff to it, but it is something new, and I think it's compensating for the forward strong nerfs. So rather than doing this doing the forward medium punch over and over again, I can just hit Stand Fierce now and alter it a little bit more. So they kind of just spread her power across multiple buttons, which is fine because I was like, you don't use Stand Fierce in this game. I actually like mentally modeled it. I was like, my forward medium punch is my new Stand Fierce, but now I can actually revert that.
Yeah,
they nerfed one.
Yeah, you definitely stopped using that over time.
It's DIable. It was 13 frame startup. It's it's unsafe on block. Like there wasn't a really good reason to use it ever. So now I have a reason to use it, and that makes sense. And then they nerfed some of her gimmicks like air leg stuff, and but then they also like buffed like stuff where I can just they buffed stomps as another example. So
do you feel good though overall?
Damage nerfs and the walk speed feel most substantial to me, but it kind of remains to be seen on whether or not she's still going to be S. I think it's very possible, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've had some tough matches already with her, and I'm like, this is the damage stuff affects me a lot because of how often I use jabs. So I might need to change my style, and then she'll be fine.
Yeah.
So.
That's been a big change for me from 5, because like in 5 it was like Fierce, roundhouse, and like, you know, you use those buttons a lot, I think, for like every character, right? Because the crush counters and all that stuff was very, very, very beneficial to you to use those buttons. And then in this game it was just like I was using heavies and I was getting DI'd all over the place, and I was just like, all right, this is not a good idea in this game. I got to change up the way that I you know, things that I was doing in the previous game. Like,
unless you're a Shoto. If you're a Shoto, you just hit Stand Fierce all the time. Ken, Luke, Ryu, Akuma, like just hit Stand Fierce. Fucking 9-frame startup, special cancelable, hit confirmable, plus on block if you drive rush cancel it.
Yeah, I played an Akuma earlier in the hub today, and like we actually played like a long set, and ended up like 10-8 them, and like this person would just not stop walking forward. Like I didn't realize like how the walk speed was, because like I played I didn't think I played Scott after he. Well, no, we played when we were at work the other day. But then I played Jon and I played Jeff's Akumas, and like you guys don't like press as much. Like you press in terms of like pressing buttons and like pressure offense like that way. This guy was just like constantly walking forward and just like going for sweeps and like doing all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like, man, this guy is in my face the whole time. Like I can't even like keep him off me.
Yeah, it's rough because Akuma, like he's a plus frame monster.
Yeah,
like everything's plus, dude. The Demon Flip Chop +4. His EX Fireball is +2 to +5 in the corner if you charge it or not. You know, it's just his frame traps off his Adamant Fist. Yeah, it's just, dude. He's even Air Fireball. He's like super plus on that.
The lava hit.
I mean, dude, he's +3 off the standing roundhouse if they
That's
stand.
the big one for me.
That's if they stand, but it's not as good as we thought because it's just it's kind of not that great. But if it does, it's good. You know, and it's just like
button. Yeah.
But yeah, dude, he's just a plus frame monster.
But I forget, like when you block, don't you have better? Do you get better frame advantage when you're standing? If somebody blocks you're standing or crouching, was there a difference?
No, you're fatter. That's like your hitbox changes. So like some moves that would whiff on you if you're standing will hit you if you're crouching.
Now if you're his air stuff, you want to definitely try to block standing to make it less plus. So it blocks earlier.
I don't know. I'm usually looking for people to jump, and like the air stuff's actually a lot easier to deal with because of the fireball disappearing.
That's a big difference. That's huge.
That's been a huge thing in terms of pressure because like if I see them from far distance and I'm like, is he gonna jump? And then I just I throw out like a back fierce and I just hit him clean or whatever, or you throw other things to try to catch him on the recovery when he comes down. Because I've seen that happen too. Like I threw a fireball and it was just like I'm blocking and then I see him get hit by the fireball and then his fireball disappears in my face and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I don't have to deal with this too.
The other thing you have to deal with that he's just like got that more than anybody else is just like everything he has. You could probably just invent shit and then you just create a new safe jumps. He's a safe jump monster, dude.
Yeah, I felt like he
everything
had like
safe
jumps,
of
everything.
Dude.
Like because I was like trying to counter jab stuff and I was like sweep and he was just like I don't know double dash and I was like counter hit. I was just like that led into like a safe throw right there. Like I don't know.
I found a it turns out other people do it too, but it just shows like how easy it is to invent stuff with them. It's that after you do like a light tatsu, instead of sweeping or finishing the combo, go immediately into demon flip and do the demon flip cancel where you hold down. And you can create a left right mix up and it's a frame trap. Yep. We land with like a crouch medium or crouch light kick. It's like left right frame trap.
Yeah, it's like Street Fighter 4 Vortex.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, because he actually, that's the other thing too. I'm glad you mentioned that, Mike, because his air tatsu hits really good on cross up. Now it's just a matter of finding a good setup. And then I was like, oh my God, this is reminding me of Street Fighter 4.
Does he get sweep off of air tatsu?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Oh, fuck that.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So you jump out of the corner, cross up tatsu, sweep, safe jump.
He just doesn't have like any like really great setups to use it yet. It seems like compared to like 4, where he just like it was just too easy because it was fast. This one it's gonna be very very specific. So I'm okay with it. It's fine. So, but he's crazy. He's a crazy character. He's a lot of fun. But my problem with him, even though I struggle with it, I know I don't have great defense in this game, and that doesn't help me playing him.
Oh, yeah.
I'll lose to like the most random stuff because I'm just like, where did my health go? But I gotta say though, man, and props to the team, dude. Teleport throw is like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah,
that's so sick. Really it's so sick.
You get
it's
it
so
meaty,
sick, dude. It's
meaty
so
off
sick,
the heavy
bro.
punch. Heavy punch.
Well, plus
that, dude.
I was telling Benny,
and
then I was showing Benny. I like, dude. I guarantee you the cheapest meta is going to be. Make sure you pick a red color Akuma, so that it's hard to tell is he teleporting or is he doing a DI.
Yeah,
that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that visual confusion going. But man, I think that's the coolest thing. It's so satisfying.
I saw this match where it was Moke versus Daigo, and Moke was buffering Chun SA2 to punish a fireball, and then so Daigo just point blank. Well, he was in mid range. He just teleported instead, and it looked like a fireball. So Moke supers, and he teleports through the super, and then ends up on the other side of her, dashes up and punishes her.
Oh,
like,
dude!
Punches
speaking
her in
of
the
that.
ass.
Speaking of that, I did it. So I showed a tweet to Benny when we were playing at work, and there was someone tweeted in slow motion where Akuma he teleports through Luke's low forward. By the time Luke's low forward hitbox came out, Akuma was already past it. So it looked like he's whiffed. He grabbed him. I did that today against the Chun player's low forward. I was like, oh, it looks so weird.
preemptively for DIs too. Like if you think somebody's about to do like a DI, you can just go right through it.
Oh, dude, dude.
Yeah, you guys get that. You guys get that sin stuff.
It's so satisfying. That move is so satisfying.
When you get a parry with that grab, like if someone's parrying and then you do that, I've done like on Oki, I would drive rush at them, so they, someone thinks the high low's coming, so they hold parry on wake up. You drive rush into the teleport.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man. It feels so good because I think the animation changes too. It does so much fucking damage on punish counter.
It is the most satisfying move I've landed in this game so far, dude.
Speaking of,
love it.
Drive rush shenanigans, dude. Like you could do drive rush into his like heavy volcano punch thing, and he just goes back, and it's like Luke's back fierce, except for it gets punish counter into 1 billion damage.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy about that move? Even though it's -2. It's like you just do a fierce adamant fist into another one, and it auto shimmies the throw.
Yep.
And then that's his biggest combo starter right there. Yep. And I'm like, oh my god, this move is degenerate as hell. All of his adamant fists are degenerate because, like, you do like only one hit, and then you do a reset to a throw. Or you do the light one, you could do the full light one because it doesn't knock down, and you can reset. He's just got so many options. I'm like, where has this guy got any weakness other than his defense and then his drive rush being pretty awful?
I was actually gonna say, like, his like, how is his ground game in your guys' eyes? Like the normals, like, do they
forward fierce? Forward fierce is nasty.
Oh, forward fierce, like the target combo?
Yeah, forward fierce, just the towards fierce, not just rocks. If you whiff punish off that, you can confirm. You can convert off it.
The heavy punch.
Yeah.
Like if you just do regular heavy punch, you can like go get coffee and then confirm it.
Yeah, dude.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, you can't confirm the target combo off the forward fierce though. But you just do forward fierce as just and then link it. So yeah. He's just got so many things because his low forward's not like amazing. I mean,
I think it's one of the weaker low forwards.
It's one of the weaker ones, but still, it's still going to check a backwalker though, so it still gets the job done. But yeah, it's definitely not really his best button to use. It's going to be his fiercest for sure.
I found it.
And on top of that, just really quick, his back medium kick is actually really annoying in neutral. Also, it's got a very vertical hurt box. It hits really low. I could stuff crouch medium kicks with it outside of the range. So I haven't really messed with all I could do with it, but I'm like, holy shit, this thing stuffs a lot of things in neutral. So definitely try that out.
I was getting a lot of mileage because I was losing but like I'm used to playing jury with the low forward being a mile long. So it was kind of a wake up call. So I was like, I keep dying using this button. So I literally just started using crouch strong.
Oh man, crouch strong, dude. That's exactly where I wanted to go too.
Yeah.
I'm getting Luke vibes from that thing. It's so good.
Crouch strong into the medium punch, volcano, smash punch, whatever the hell that move is called. And it just sends them to the corner.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you get demon flip shenanigans off of that one too, I believe. So
I will say though, man, you could definitely. It's funny. You could definitely steal wins with him. Like you could just like sneak in a random, even though it's like unsafe, but it catches a lot of people. You could just randomly sneak in like a low forward into the light or medium adamant fist into level 3. You could steal so many games with that shit, dude. Because it's so easy to combo. I'm like, God, this is so simple.
It's safe, and then like,
it's just like, all right, this is dumb, dude.
Yeah, you fish. It's kind of like reminds me of Street Fighter 5 when a Nikali would get super, and then you just know those light stomps are coming out because they're just gonna go button in a light stomp, button light stomp, and then buffer. Or like Ryu's going into hot Shogeki constantly when they have super. It was like or level 3,
Yeah. Then you see the Luke shoulders. The shoulders come out.
Laura elbows over and over again.
My favorite part about him is the fireball game is ridiculous. It's so fast.
Yeah,
so
it's fast.
The fierce one.
That's the first thing I noticed. I mentioned that when we were talking to Tanner too. Is like when I was playing Jeff, like I think he was just throwing fierce fireballs because I was trying to like punch underneath it or slide or even like float, and it was just like constantly like hitting me out of everything, and I'm just like I can't maneuver around this.
He matches up with Giles booms pretty well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was playing some Giles today, and I was like, he's actually doing pretty decent in a neutral, just because all the charging, so you get all those extra hits. So it's pretty good.
I think the only person that gave me trouble in the fireball game was Luke, just because he could choose to go through it with the EX.
Yeah. That's just like, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
he's good though. He's a good character. I don't know if he's like S tier. Because I don't know, because sometimes that stamina is a bitch in this game. Because everything's so high damage, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, normally I wouldn't fault him for that as much, but in this game I definitely do fault him more.
Yeah,
I think it matters more. In this
game. I saw somebody tweet about that or mentioned that, like that they theorized that the damage nerfs to like everybody like kind of universally were kind of done
to accommodate Akuma
because of him. Yeah. And they were like, well, we're releasing this guy. We can't have all this season 1 damage and then just have this character die because like he's obviously, one of the most popular characters to come out that people are looking forward to. And it's just like, if he's dying that quickly, like, it's going to really kind of turn, especially like the casual players off from using him. Like, the pros are going to be like, he's got tools. Yeah, we're going to use him. Like, good luck trying to touch me or whatever.
Akuma is actually the basis of the question I had asked you guys earlier about like, do you feel the damage nerfs? Because part of the reason why I don't know if I actually feel them yet is because every goddamn matchup I play is against Akuma, so my damage feels normal because he's got low health.
Yeah,
but then I play another matchup and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do anything.
Yeah. Every time I fought when I was DJing, every time I fought against Akuma, I was like, oh, like my damage has been restored.
That's like season 1. Yeah.
Do not get command grabbed by Geef punish counter. That is the worst thing.
Oh my god!
It does like
Half-Life. It's
40%, 45% of his bar. Like it's so terrible.
Yeah, because it does like 3650 or something like that. That's damn near half his life. Yeah. That's so funny. But then Marissa, and I'm like, I don't envy any Akumas playing against Marissa. I fought one and it was awful.
Awful. So do you feel like, because I know you mentioned possibly picking up Akuma as a secondary Scott, but do you think it'd be necessary if you play Akuma to have a secondary behind him to deal with like Marissa or Geef for those kind of matches?
It depends. It depends on how I feel about DJ down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe his nerfs really are too much, and I may have to jump ship. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I still think, even though I still think DJ's fine overall, even though now that his weaknesses that he had season 1 are kind of like amplified in season 2 because now he lost a lot of damage. So it's going to be interesting just because I don't have like a low forward cancel. I don't have any lows. I don't have a low game, basically.
Yeah.
Aside of knocking you down with crouch and medium kick, which doesn't really lead to anything, but
it's the best button in the game.
It's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's a good button, but it's like it doesn't lead to anything. So it's going to be interesting, right? But right now, it's going to be DJ, and I'm just messing with Akuma on the side. Like he's so much fun, but I don't know if he's going to be a character for me because, like I said, I know one of my weaknesses. I don't feel like I got great defense, and you need really good defense with Akuma.
Yeah. So speaking of interesting, like I think the most interesting thing that came out of this past weekend, other than the combo breaker stuff and all that stuff, was that there was a stream that was going on in Japan, and they were talking about the updates and patches and stuff for this upcoming season, and they were talking about how they were going to make things more frequent or like smaller patches throughout the year and not wait for like kind of that whole year. So I'm really kind of wondering like if they may tune things back or tune things before like the competitive season really starts and go from there, because like they're definitely taking it like I like the direction that they're going with things, and like the choices that they've made for certain characters, but I'm wondering if like how often they're gonna do that. I mean, I could see it with like character releases and stuff like that, but I'm just wondering like how dramatic those kind of changes are gonna be.
That's what they did with Street Fighter V. Is that they would, when the season was over, they'd patch, and then it'd be a big sweeping balance patch, and then right before the competitive season started, they would make a little mini patch, and then we'd call it 2.5 or 1.5 or sorry 3.5.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be that scheme. That's what I read when I read that news. I was like, that's probably what they're going to do. But they could even go even more granular than that, and then patch like multiple times a year.
Which
and
I don't like. I don't like.
Don't like it.
I okay, because you know, we've had this conversation before, and at first I was okay with waiting the 1 year for the patch, but now that the year has passed, I felt like okay, maybe the 1 year thing is too long because we process this information so freaking fast now.
Yeah.
You know, and a year is just way too long, and I feel the best route is like, okay, we could do it after Capcom Cup, you know, and then maybe after Evo or something. So twice a year.
Or right before Evo, right?
Yeah. Do it 2 days before Evo.
2 days before.
Yeah. You know,
and then we all have to answer a poll.
Yeah, Rick's gonna be losing his hair out by that point. Like again, like damn.
I actually think a month before Evo would be a good idea, though.
Okay.
Actually, that's like 3 weeks from now.
If it's gonna be, if it's gonna be before, then like a month. But either way, I would say like twice a year is okay now, I think. And then if you're gonna do any patches in between there, like small ones, it should be so very, very, very like extremely obvious problems.
Kind of like what they did with JP and a couple like that mini patch before where they buffed Ryu and Jamie and they nerfed JP, right?
Anyway, right now the big thing that's going on right now is Rashid with his slide buff. So now people are finding all this crazy tech into level 2 that could like potentially
in the
be
corners and stuff. Yeah.
And he's basically taking on the role of JP now. He's got a full burnout combo now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he drains your whole drive gauge now. It's the same thing, and so I feel like now that could be the new like this could be a little problematic now, you know. Yeah. So I can see something like that. Maybe it's too early to say for sure, but right now it's looking really problematic on a super that already has been problematic to begin with.
Yeah. No, so I was gonna. It makes me think about because like I remember like when I first started in the scene, like one of the things that they talked about was that whole save that for nationals kind of thing. Like was that kind of like the kind of tech that you're seeing now, Scott? Is that something that like people would really like save until like the big tournaments? Because obviously, like I understand, like back in the day, like information didn't travel as fast, but like you kind of have like a double or it's almost exasperated now because like people want to be the first, right? Like I'm the one that discovered this shit. Check this out, guys, right?
People want the clout. People want the clout now more than anything.
But it's just like, but at the same time, like you're almost doing like a detriment to your character by showing that stuff because it's just like Evo's around the corner and it's just like maybe don't show this and then pull this off during that and it's just like oh shit, like what is this stuff?
The way I see it, like back in the day, so like say like that Rashid thing that I just talked about, we would totally save that stuff. I wouldn't tell nobody. My local guys would probably know about it, but the national comp, they ain't gonna know about it till I hit them with it, right? And they're not gonna have time to adapt. But it's kind of BS, right? But I think it's a BS way just because it's like it's gimmicky, It's like did I really beat them? It's a lack of information, but. I feel like if you find something like really close to Evo or something, you might keep it in your pocket just because it's so close.
Yeah.
But then everyone is so engaged in clout, right? That you know what? If you don't put it out there and you want to get credit for it, a day later another lab monster is going to find it. And to be fair, this stuff from Rashid, who wasn't going to find it? It's just doing the damn slide buff into level 2, and then you already see the implications immediately.
Yeah, it's almost like the Akuma stuff, right? The Shin Akuma stuff with the taunt and all that stuff. Like I saw like the one person that like potentially put it out first, and then all of a sudden like you see these like people putting out tweets. Look at what my son discovered. Look at what this so and so discovered, and they're like trying to be the ones to like catch the algorithm and be the ones that Then I'd see the replies, and I'll be like, this is hours later, and people are like, "Oh man, this is dope! Like, how'd you figure this out?" And I'm just like,
I gotta say,
somebody else put this out 6 hours earlier. Like, what are you talking about?
How the hell did they find that? That's so odd.
Yeah.
Man, that's such a crazy.
It might have been it's someone's son. Like they let the character sit there for 30 seconds and then they mash the shit out of stuff and stuff happened.
I guess. Man,
I just imagine.
So weird.
I just imagine some dad walking back by and then seeing his son do like a super that's fucking different. And wait, what the hell?
No,
what is that?
Well, I know that they showed it in the trailer. Like they showed it in the the teaser trailer or whatever. I think they showed one of the supers because I remember looking at it and I was like, what the fuck?
Well, it's because that Sir Akuma that you play against in Battle Hub does all of that shit.
Oh man, I want to talk about that briefly too. It's because there's not a lot of meat to that topic, but like that raid thing is really cool. Like
it's cool. It's interesting.
I think that there's so many ways that like fighting games get a bad rep because it's a 1v1 thing, and then people like it's hard to like to capture that personality type that doesn't like losing because it only plays co-op games essentially. And so like having a raid or like having like a co-op thing, which again that's not new. Like no. I'm calling it a raid that came from MMOs,
Sure.
Like, but having that like cooperative kind of feeling to it, and then having like people like throwing Hadokens at the Sir Akuma, the big giant Sir Akuma that's taken over the battle hub, like that shit is tight. And I hope that they keep doing that. I hope we see like Phantom Lady or like what other like random like maybe like a Violent Ken boss or something,
Exactly,
they can just keep rotating that shit. I think that'd be so cool and a good way to
find new ways to do it too.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing the same thing, just a different skin, like find new inventive ways. I thought it was really cool because I was like, not only do you go up to the cabinet and play against Sir Akuma and try to get your power level up, you go down and fight the avatar version that's level 99 and basically kills you in one hit.
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, see, that's the thing. Like,
God damn.
I heard people having trouble with that, but I assume that their avatars aren't leveled up. Because I went to go play, and my avatar is actually decent. So like I was doing just fine, and I was just I have headbutt and SPD with like dual subnormals, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine.
Put some clothes on, old man. Let the stat boosting clothes. You'll be fine.
I know.
I imagine the people that were having trouble were the ones that like probably haven't touched World Tour and haven't upgraded that shit at all. Because like when you're low level avatar, like you get destroyed.
I beat up Sir Akuma though yesterday. I beat his ass finally, so I got him.
It tickles that boss mode thing too. That boss mode like broken boss SNK boss tradition too from fighting. Games. So like it meshes really well.
Yeah, because they did that in KOF 15 with the Mega Rugol, and it ended up being disappointment because he was not hard.
Yeah,
and that was really disappointing. People were super disappointed in that. We want a character that's just like fucking dumb. And he is pretty dumb.
But then make it co-op so everybody's like working together, and then it feels a lot better than being beat up by a broken boss if you're upset about it, Like you always hear that story about like a kid on a Third Strike cabinet fighting Gil, and then everybody's stopping to go and like look and like watch this kid beat Gil. And that's the co-op raid experience I think they've captured here, which is like we all just want to beat this CPU boss. Like that's why Dark Souls is popular. It's that.
There you go.
Anyway, I thought that's cool. I hope they keep doing that. I hope they do more shit like that. That's the content I think that would be more interesting than a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costume.
$15.
Hey, was it Alpha 3 like World Tour mode like on the that had the dual battles where like you could play
dramatic battle online
dramatic battles?
Yeah.
Oh man,
dramatic battles.
So sick. That'd be so sick. Dramatic battles were the best, dude, because you could you sandwich them and get infinites. Just stuff like that. It's too much fun, man. That's too much fun. Oh my god.
If they do some stuff like that, that'd be fun.
Yeah, for sure. I can see stuff like that happening.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, if I could pull it back to gameplay again here real quick. So we talked about a couple of different characters so far, but I am curious about, and I asked this of Tanner last episode too, but who do you guys think is the biggest winner of the patch? And then Scott, you teased earlier about who you thought was the biggest loser, but I'd also like to hear that from everybody. Mike, you want to go first? Like, who do you think benefited the most, and who do you think got worked?
As far as got worked, we already spoke about it. Is JP and DJ
it's universal. It's unanimous.
Yeah, that one's.
Maybe we don't have to
I don't think anyone disagrees. Anyone disagrees.
Wow.
I didn't know JP got hit that bad. I know they messed up his SA2, but like, what else did they do to him that like
he can't do the burnout combo anymore? He can't do so like everything's slower. Like he just can't naturally combo in a Super 2 easily anymore, and that's really big. Like people are really hating. They made his fierce staff spin, whatever, like worse now. So it's forcing him to use the OD version. Which
they made it worse, like as in like it's not plus anymore. Or?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I guess like they're trying to force people to use the OD version more.
I know one of the things was like when you would parry the heavy version and try and DI it, there was like a small window where he would recover and be able to DI back.
Yeah,
I think that is gone.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right here, 3 frames of recovery added when this technique is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So
tight.
That's gone.
It's mostly the level 2 stuff, though. There's a lot of the level 2 stuff.
And for me, it's everything that hit him on top of the last patch nerfs. Yeah. It's like he already got nerfed. Right. Then they nerfed him again, and it's like, all right. So like,
I felt there was a little too much.
Down. He's already dead. Stop.
He's already dead. Stop.
Yeah, I think the biggest winner is probably Akuma. Like, I think he's ridiculous.
Wow, okay.
Just coming into this game as all these other people got nerfed. Yeah, perfect. I think Ryu is probably the biggest winner. Like, his stuff is ridiculous. Like, I thought he was already pretty good after they kind of buffed him the first time, and then the whole being able to hold Denjin is amazing.
That's huge.
Yeah, just like being able to choose when you like holding on to that, because it's one of his biggest damage starters was like a whiff punish fierce into like heavy Hasho, and now he can still throw fireballs
and then have that ready.
Yeah, because it was like in your head you could, if it was a good Ryu, you knew, they've got Denjin. I can kind of walk forward a little bit now because he's less likely to throw a fireball. So I just need to really not whiff a button. But now you still have to deal with light fireball, medium fireball.
Yep.
But then you just eat big damage on any whiff punish.
Yeah, I agree.
I said this on the last show, but I guess we were all thinking it. Ryu just doesn't do enough damage, so he needs to do more, right? They need to buff more damage because he's lacking.
Yeah, I thought he was okay in that sense, but I don't know. That was the other thing too that I talked about, was like in terms of him kind of being the players that I played for the most part from other than Chase and like other people that are more solid, that I think have a more solid base. Like the Ryus that I played online were just kind of wild and just kind of all over the place. And like now I'm like, I haven't honestly ran into or seen many right now from what I've played, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to that match in some ways, but I don't know. Sim in general does okay against the Shotos, so I'm not overly concerned with it as long as I don't get hit, I guess.
Yeah. Fierce and heavy Hasho, man.
There's no Ryus around right now. They're all playing Akuma. Like
that's
right.
True too.
Yeah. You got anyone else you think, Mike?
I mean, that was my biggest one. I don't. Here's one. I don't know what happened to him, but all of a sudden I'm just getting destroyed by him, and that's Geef.
I want to talk about Geef, dude. Yeah,
I didn't get to read through his changes, but I have got destroyed by whether it was Akuma or Jury. Actually, I've been getting wrecked worse. I don't know because it was a higher like a higher rank. Higher rank. Yeah. But even like I'm just getting destroyed by every Geef I fight. I don't know what to change it or. It doesn't feel any different.
Dude.
It's just all of a sudden.
He got some damage buffs, and then he also, I think the biggest thing was like he got a lot of like meter and drive gauge stuff.
His meter gain is really huge now. He gains a lot more meter, and then his fierce charge now does like 500 more damage. I got hit by a thing. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Here's something that really fucked me up when I was playing Jury. Is I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna drop back. And he read my fireball, but he literally did a drive rush, medium kick, and he hopped over the fireball, punish countered me, did a full combo, and I was just like, all right. So if I can't throw fireballs, is this Jury's worst matchup now? Like all of a sudden, I just can't do anything against Geef.
The nasty thing I got that someone hit me with, I was in the corner and I was trying to jump out thinking he was going to SPD, and he does the neutral jump fierce headbutt into EX SPD. And I'm like, what is this?
That's a lot of damage.
Oh my goodness. It was huge. Yeah, his options are definitely scarier. And then his OD running bear grab is like so much faster now.
I haven't got hit with that yet, but I don't know.
Yeah, dude, he runs super fast now. So now Geef players are more incentivized to just go full screen unga bunga with it. Yeah. It just comes out so fast.
Tanner's been sending me clips because he's been taking Geef online to like test out all the changes and stuff, and he basically has like burnout strings now too, or not burnout strings, but he has strings that do a ton of drive damage.
I saw.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw something from, I think it was Brutus, where they were like, they were showing like that he could burn somebody out, but then like I think he was like, but then I looked at my drive meter and I was like, my drive meter was depleted too.
But like when you're burnt out against Geef, man, because he got a buff on his headbutt, because now he's more plus. He's more plus, so he could just headbutt you to death now. And that's where the drive damage comes from.
Yep. Well, there's just across the board, all of his normals seem to have drive gauge increased damage, and then so he just even if you block Geef, and again, it's a bad idea to block against the grappler anyway. It's just everything's harder to deal with now. I think he's just really good.
He's pretty
Mago
good.
Actually published a tier list today. Or something like it showed up on Reddit at the very least, and it's Mago, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. You might be trolling. He has his top 3 are Geef, Guile, and Akuma in that order. So
Akuma, really?
He's a Jury player. He's a Jury player, so maybe.
I don't really have trouble with Guiles, so
okay.
Like I just walk him down and parry fireballs, but I don't know. Maybe I'm not playing the right ones or something, but when I play Christian, maybe it's because he's more defensive and it's the offensive side that's more tough to deal with. I don't know, but yeah, like I don't have any problems with Guile, but I'm curious what he got changed because I haven't really had a chance to like look through everybody.
His biggest thing is that wall splat.
See, I didn't even see that. I played Christian yesterday. I didn't see that one time.
I don't even know against me either. He never did against me either.
Now it's a new change, so like he probably hasn't implemented it yet, but
I don't. Yeah, honestly, he doesn't seem any different.
So that's part of the reason why I think the Japanese rate him so highly, because like multiple like Kawano and Mago put out tier lists. Nephew also put out a tier list, and all of them have Guile as like either top 1 or top 3 because everybody else got nerfed, but he stayed intact and. Yeah, and then again, a universal damage decrease, the zoners benefit. So not just Sim. We were talking about Sim earlier, but Guile also benefits from that,
Yes, he does.
And he still hits like a truck because he wasn't a jab monster either. He wasn't a low forward DRC character. He wasn't a jab monster. Exactly. So his game plan is so intact that I think by normalizing everybody else, he just kind of rises to the top. They nerfed JP sense. As another good example. Like JP was the Guile gatekeeper, right?
Yeah.
No more.
I agree. Because I was gonna say that I put him up there as one of the biggest winners of this patch.
Oh,
because nothing really happened. He just kind of organically just goes up now because of just for the exact reasons you said. Me though, I agree with Mike and everything with Ryu. On top of the fact that his chains comboing into Denshin Charge and giving him free Oki is really huge. Also, sure. I think surprisingly, I think another one that people aren't talking about too much, and I think it's just kind of flying under the radar is Aki. I think Aki does way too much damage now. She does way too much. Yeah, she doesn't need the corner. She doesn't need the corner anymore just to do absurd damage on you now. So now, instead of like DJ being the one people complain about, people are going to start complaining about Aki and her damage output because it was very similar to begin with. Now she just does ridiculous damage in mid screen. I think she came out really big. I think those two are the biggest winners in my eye. I think Honda came out pretty good because now he's more realized. He's a little less gimmicky. He's still got a little less. He's got better things now. I don't know. I think he came out pretty good. I think, but I'm also going to add another category. I'm gonna call it the got away with murder category.
Oh yeah. Biggest winner, and that they didn't get nerfed when they should have been fucking nerfed.
Yeah, and I guess you could put Guile in that.
Yeah,
but I'd also put Luke in that category.
Yes,
like how does Luke still not top 3 in Japan's eyes? I don't get that. I just his game plan doesn't change. If anything, and if anything now, it's like his knuckle stuff. It's like now it's like can't DI shit where they fuck up. Because now he could counter DI when they fuck up, and it's stupid. But anyway, he got away with murder. Who else got away with murder? And in some ways, he's better now because the buffs they gave him to his Jin Rise, especially his heavy one now. They gave his Jin Rise super 100 extra damage, and it starts up a frame faster. And they actually buffed his low forward because they raised the hurt box. So now you hit with a standing roundhouse counter hit, you can DRC, you could drive rush forward and juggle with the low forward, and then run cancel that into heavy Tatsu, and it'll give you that weird juggle scenario where you can juggle after.
They're really high.
So so he's got all that, and then also making the run DP a frame faster, which gives them the low, gives them all these new options. So I feel like he's become better. He actually got buffed in this version overall. It's
almost like they knew that Akuma was gonna eclipse all the Shotos, or that's what happens usually when the new Shoto drops, is that everybody just picks that new Shoto and all the other ones disappear. And so they're just like, we'll just buff all the other Shotos then, so that way everyone has to make a choice now. And now all the Shotos are really good.
I agree with that just because that was the problem with Ryu for the whole year. Why play Ryu when you got Luke and Ken? Yep. Even though Ryu's just fine. But because the only thing that Ken really lost was the target combo delay, which I think is a fair
bullshit.
Fix.
Yeah.
It was a fair fix. That
shouldn't have been the way it was.
It's a fair fix. I was like, no, you should commit to that and then commit to spending your meter if you want to stay safe. I think that's a totally logical change. But they got away with murder so much, and then just trying to think of if there's anyone else I can think of.
I just thought of another one for Ryu.
What's that?
Solar plexus is +3 on
+3 solar plexus. Yeah, dude. You just do random I'm gonna do jab, 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 solar plexus, crouch strong, solar plexus. Even though there's holes, but if you allow me the opportunity to land that solar plexus,
drive rush, solar plexus,
while they're in burnout. What is that? That's +11.
Oh my god, dude.
Ryu's gonna walk you halfway to the corner before he frame traps you.
Oh my lord, dude.
Okay, so that's the thing is if they're in burnout and you do drive rush solar plexus, that's a +11, and then you can just do another solar plexus, right? That'll frame trap. That's fucked up. Well, that's I think that a lot of these characters, like there's other characters that have got buffs too that just we don't really know what the ramifications are. Like I'd actually put Lily in there, where like I didn't know what she was capable of with these changes, and frankly that character is so simple in the first place that like how do you really I thought that character was just not going to be touched at all, or like was just doomed for low tier.
I was going to say, you just brought up Lily. I think also, you know, and I think El Chocote kind of really showed it. It's just that I think I don't know, man. I think she's going to be the secret one. That's just like these little changes just kind of amplified her to like new levels, possibly.
Hey. Yeah. So excited. You can tell how excited I am right now. Lily is getting buffed. It's I had a hard enough time with both those characters before the patch when they were ass, and now it's like they're even better, and my character's worse.
Because see, the thing is too is like it was Javits that I think tweeted about. He's like he doesn't think that Lily's matchups have changed, but it was kind of like, you know, they've helped out in the mid screen, right? And it's like and he also felt like it was kind of dangerous to buff her too much. So he's not like, you know, he's happy that there's been some change, but he didn't, you know, he didn't want her to get too much, because then it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
And like, you know, it's almost the same thing that I was saying with like Sim too. It's just like, yeah, is there stuff that I'd love to have? Like, cool, yeah, but it's just like I don't think it's necessary, and like I don't need him to be overbearing to the point that, you know, everybody already hates him as it is. He's like the rarest character in usage for the game, so it's just like I can only imagine like if they gave him, you know, a lot more than they gave him already, which I mean it was minimal stuff, but it was just like, you know, if they gave him some real stupid stuff, like man, like you would never hear the end of it.
Can you imagine if they gave Sam like slight damage buffs across the board? He'd be the best character in the game.
Even little things to his like his normals or anything like that.
Just little things like that.
Like there's like I think probably the one thing that I would like change is probably like his crouch medium punch. I think the hurt box comes out before the hit box does, or something like that. It's some weird thing that makes it.
That's kind of a sim thing though. That's like a lot of games with him where the hurt box appears first, just so you have a way to deal with the limbs. You know.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things you gotta. Again, this is one of those things you gotta hold. You gotta take the L on when it comes to that character. You know.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, a lot of that stuff I don't even mind, because it's like usually if I'm getting hit in those situations anyway, like I'm throwing those moves out at bad spacing. So it's just like I should have been closer when I did this, and I wouldn't have been whiff punished, right?
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, I don't know. That's taking accountability. Oh man, nobody does that.
What's that? Accountability. What's that?
Accountability. I'll just complain about my character.
Well, we're full of, our scene's full of narcissists that can't take accountability. It's everyone else's fault.
Yeah.
I mean, hasn't it always been like that though? In a way, like you just see people posting on Shorty you can about that same bullshit, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's never changed.
Yeah, that's in the DNA, but maybe that's just part of being a competitive scene. I don't know.
I mean, you can be happy with like your character being good, but it's just like I don't know. I think it's just a combination of like social media and like everybody having a voice, and it's like that, and like it's kind of like the opposite of the echo chamber, right? Like you're not getting a bunch of people like agreeing with you. You're seeing all the negativity that like normally you probably wouldn't see, right? And it's just like, I don't know. I think that's what really gets me, is because like eventually like I just start zoning stuff out, because I'm like, oh, here's another guy complaining about this. And it's like,
so why don't we, if we cut through some of that discourse, do you guys like the game as it is? Do you think this is a good patch? Do you think it was a bad patch? Is there stuff that you agree with? Is there stuff that you vehemently disagree with?
Too to say.
I'm loving it, because like I posted that in the Discord earlier in terms of like I think it was Problem Mike's complaining about Blanca tickling people because he doesn't do damage anymore, and the universal changes
out of here.
The universal changes to the damage scaling, and then the Blanca-chan scaling, and I'm just like
that right there.
Like what?
You're being so disingenuous with that, right? It's so disingenuous. The guy is still doing stupid damage. It was like when Mena was complaining about I don't know if he was complaining, but he was like, it was fun, boys, when he heard about Blanca's OD airball
not being
negative.
plus anymore. Yeah.
Even though it could still be up to +1. And I'm like, I hope he was trolling, because I was like, come on, man. It's like, you guys have got to be honest.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one wants to be honest.
Well, it's because you have a platform now and you have followers that you can, like, I think I've heard it referred to as the Ministry of Truth, which is pretty funny for anyone who's read 1984.
People get gaslit through their echo chambers.
Well, it's because you're trying to downplay for political reasons to make sure that your character doesn't get buffed.
Yeah,
or nerfed, rather.
Nerfed,
like Ken, right?
But did it work? But did it work? But did it really work with everybody? I don't think it did.
With Ken, it did, but for JP, all the work that Velociraptor put into making sure that everyone knew that JP was fair, that didn't amount to shit. He got boned. I feel so bad for Jon, man.
But like, okay, you know what? Let's go back to JP really quick. So I know it's probably too early to say, but is he still a good character?
JP's problem from the get-go was that he was good and a scrub killer. You can't have both. You can have one or the other. You can have Sim be mid-tier at best, but a scrub killer. You can have Honda be low-tier, but a scrub killer. But you can't have a top-tier scrub killer, because then there's just the scrubs will riot.
That's true. That's so true. That's actually I like that. I like that. That's true, right? That's going to be at the intro of this episode. I already know that.
The scrubs will riot. I'll yeah. Let me write down the timestamp.
Yeah, I already do.
That's true if you think about it, right? Because people were complaining about Honda, but then like as you rise up in the ranks, like he becomes less of a problem, right? Like people have learned how to deal with a lot of the stuff that he has.
Well, and that's why the changes were made to Honda. It was to ease up on the low levels.
Yeah.
But give him something on the high levels.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, it plays into that. But yeah, I am curious about JP, where he's going to land. I'm hoping there's still some people that will take him seriously and see how far they could go, because I think there's still a lot. I think there's still meat left on that bone.
Yeah. I
think there is. It's just that you got a character that could just zone out so well. Why is his offense so oppressive?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's gonna really come down to like the people, like if they're really kind of character loyalists. Like the pro players I can understand. Like it's like why play that character when I can play somebody else that's infinitely easier and more impressive, right? But it's just like I'm hoping that there are still those kind of character specialists that find stuff or that figure stuff out, because like you said, like it's easy to discredit things right off the bat and just be like, oh man, they took away all this stuff. But
yeah,
who knows? There might be things out there that people don't know about.
And unfortunately, this is also what $1 million does to everybody.
Yep.
They're gonna look at this with a lot more scrutiny, and so I do get that aspect that does play a big factor in all this.
Even the $1 million for me, I'm like, I'm considering dropping Chun for a Shoto, because like it's clear to me now that the game is going to reward Shotos, and I'm like, Chun is kind of a Shoto in a way, but why put in all that effort? It's not even because she's a bad character. She's fine. She's good.
Yeah.
But like, I could also be playing a busted character instead, and that sounds like a lot of fun too. Like Akuma, I think might be better than Chun, and I'm like, why don't I just play Akuma or Ken? I might go back to Ken, because like I thought they were gonna butcher that character and they didn't, and I'm like, maybe I'll play him then. That sounds like
maybe you'll play Ryu,
because it might not be worth. The phrase I use is the juice might not be worth the squeeze with Chun, like, or Dalsum is another good example, but Dalsum's different because you don't play Street Fighter, you play Dalsum. I'm kidding, but that actually is a concern that I have though with the Shotos, is that it's like when you buff the beginner level characters or the basic characters so much they have all the options, like you don't really give people incentive to try the other wacky oddball characters, and so like I worry that this actually might homogenize the game too much by making it the game of Shotos.
Shotos, yeah.
So maybe we'll see that addressed later on.
That's
maybe it doesn't even need to be addressed. Who knows?
Maybe not, because it all depends on, like, let's just say like all the Shotos become top tier. It's like, are they going to be in good company with other characters up there? You know, that's where it's gonna matter, because yeah, you're right. You don't want to have like technically 4 Shotos, you know, if you count Luke, be in S tier and then nobody else. That's a problem. That is a problem. But if he's up there with like Blanca and some other characters, Guile. And all that, then it's like, okay. But it's got to be a pretty vast list to warrant 4 up there, you know?
And even then, it might still turn out the way that it always does, where eventually people will figure out which Shoto
is the best,
and then they just go to that guy anyway. And then we still have to at the mid level, we still have to deal with like all 4 of those different matchups, you know?
yeah, for sure.
Well, this was a good discussion. I think that part of the problem with this patch is that there's just so much, and so I figure we're gonna end up talking with other people throughout the scene in regards to like their opinions on the characters and the balance changes and whatnot. But this is gonna be a good time capsule for the future. I think maybe in 6 months we bring you guys back on and we'll see if like we were right as far as like our predictions as who's the best and who's the worst.
However many patches have been done since then too.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. And to answer, just like right now, currently, I'm okay with this patch. I'm okay with it right now. I'm fine with it. Okay? I'm fine with this patch right now. Even though my character got bent over, it's like, whatever. It is what it is. Yeah. It is what it is. It's like I just truck on and make adjustments or whatever. You know, it's on me, you know, to make those changes. So I think it's fine right now. My opinion could change 2 months down the road or next week. But right now, it's not like games like MK or Tekken where everything's just changing like crazy, you know. You know, it's I think this is a pretty well thought out patch overall.
Okay.
You can see a lot of the intention, you know. There's some stuff that's questionable for sure, but you overall can see like what they were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, you know. Then like I think I mean, other than the reversal thing, right? That's a big thing too. There was a lot of people that wanted Traverse to be touched, and it's like it looks like they did other things to kind of affect that, like the low forwards and the things like that, instead of touching that, because like I think it's such an integral part of the game. Like it's so hard to like mess with that, right? And it's just like. And then the other thing was like the parry change. Like I really felt that today when I was playing that Akuma, because like
great change.
Once he started getting a read on like I like to parry, all of a sudden it was like empty demon flips or it was like whatever, and I was getting thrown, and I was just like, I really need to dial this shit back. Like I need to just block now a lot more than I did before.
I think that's a really good point, Benny, because we've kind of talked about it across multiple episodes at this point, where like we've remarked that the system is so fragile in a lot of ways, because you touch one thing, it affects another thing, you know, everything's intertwined, and like I described it as a house of cards, right? And I think that they successfully tweaked the system, made it new and interesting, but then also didn't break everything.
Didn't break it at all.
That we know of yet. Yeah.
Like I love those parry changes. I like the 8 frames extra. I like the hurt boxes push forward because you could throw from really far.
That that was a buff to Geef.
It's a buff to Chun too,
dude.
Like if you have good walk speed.
Like Geef, if I'm not mistaken, on round start, if you parry on round start, Geef can grab you.
Oh man, scrubs are gonna riot now.
So I thought it was done. I thought they were done very well. There was very thoughtful changes when it comes to the mechanics, and I think people are mostly happy with it, especially when it comes to the parry.
Yep. So my concluding question for the group here, again, I mentioned this is a time capsule. Things will change, and so I'm not going to hold you to this, but it'd be fun to look back on this in the future. Top three characters. Your prediction for who's going to be the best in the game. And again, could be wrong. So we know we're like 5 or 6 days in, so we're very likely to be wrong. But it'd be interesting to see how wrong we were in the future. I'll go first to give you guys some time to think. How's that?
Yeah.
So I think Guile is number 1. I do agree with everybody in that regard. I think. Really? I think Ken is going to be... No, not Ken. No, I think Ken is actually going to end up being the best Shoto. And then I think the Ryu buffs are going to be kind of fun to play with for a little bit, but Ken is still just so stable, and he's got the people that have already played him in the last season are will continue to grow him. So he's got the legacy knowledge, for lack of a better phrase. He's got 1 year ahead of everybody else. And then I think Aki's up there too. That would be my top 3.
Yes. Yeah. So I'll go, and I pretty much mirror that sentiment. I think Aki might creep in there, but I'm gonna go a little different.
Sure.
I'm gonna put so I agree with Guile, but I think Aki's gonna be the secret sauce. Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily saying she's gonna be number 2, but I think Luke is still gonna be in there.
Top 3. Oh yeah, Luke was I
agree. Look, dude, it doesn't matter what they seem to do with this character. Look how many changes they made in 5, and it didn't matter. The changes they made in this game so far just doesn't seem to matter. It's just his design, his forward moving attacks, and his auto sway stuff like suppressor and all that. Just all of his natural movement options, his sandblast, just everything. He's just like, man, it's just like hard. His kit is just so good. And now they gave him more stuff to work with. Yep. And it's just like they made him better. I think they made him better now.
Remember when we were playing the beta and everyone was like, Luke is the worst.
Well, you know what? Because we judged everything so harshly off the frame data alone. And it just didn't look like he had anything plus. And I'm like, and then no one was doing all the perfect time stuff and all.
And then we learned that he had the plus button in that fucking crouch strong, right?
Yeah,
the button, the god button.
Yeah,
which is still pretty godlike too. That's the other side of it.
But I will say, Guile and Luke guaranteed top 2 in the top 3 is my guarantee. Aki is just going to be like my surprise one.
Okay.
But if I was going to pick a safe character, I would say one of the Shotos. I just don't know if it's going to. I don't know which one though, but it's going to be one of the Shotos. But that was my answer.
So Luke, Guile, and another Shoto then, huh? Wow.
If not Aki, but ultimately I want to say Aki.
Okay.
Oh, and Rashid could be up there too because that level. It's hard. I'll stick with Aki though.
This is a time capsule here. All right, cool. Who's next?
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So I think when in Street Fighter V, when Akuma came out, everybody thought he was ass. And then he turned out to be the best character in the game. Now I'm sitting here with an Akuma that everybody thinks is great. And they haven't figured out everything with the character yet. So we haven't even seen anything from Takedo.
Sky's the limit. Yeah.
It's true. It is true. He's always top tier when he first appears.
There's no way I'm not putting
every game
as the number one.
It's true. You got a point. You got a good point, man.
Luke, also. The third one, I'm a little bit up in the air on because I think it's just like too hard to tell. It could be Chun. Everybody else got nerfed a little bit. Kind of. Just a little.
It's true. It's true.
I would be very happy if that's the case. So I hope you're right.
But to actually say, just because I've solely been getting destroyed by this character, I'm gonna say Geef. Geef is the.
Hey, there we go. Geef in top 3 or top 4.
Dog, if you're right on that, oh my lord,
that's like decades in the making, man.
Bro, I'm gonna be like, go buy a lottery ticket.
I don't know, man. I haven't been able to do anything against that character.
It's a fair point, man. Yeah, he's a fucking nightmare. So yeah,
I haven't really had to fight an Aki, and I haven't really been able to look through her changes yet. But I trust your guys' opinion. But I gotta say Geef because. Certainly.
Interesting.
I mean, to be fair, it could be Jury because Jury won the million. Now, I do think that
good point.
That God, why can't I think of his name? How do I not remember Uma, yeah. I do think it was a combination. It was similar to Mena RD winning back in 2017, where you had a good player with a really good character, not necessarily top tier, but like he was, Birdie was decent in season 1, and Jury, once again, not top, but can definitely contend with any of the top tier characters, having an amazing tournament run. So like, it could just be that, but a lot of her other matchups that were weird got nerfed. So, and she didn't change much at all. Could be Jury, but I'm gonna say Geef just because.
Got to do it, man.
You got to throw that one.
Yeah,
got the 2 safe options. I think the other 2 are guaranteed, but I'll throw the Geef in there.
Okay. All right. How about you, Benny?
Yes, I wasn't really thinking about Guile until you guys were talking about it more. But I would say I was thinking Luke because like I didn't think that really much changed with him, to the sense to where like I felt like if anything was nerfed from what I read and what I saw, like it was kind of negligible. So I would put him in there. I was already thinking about Aki because like I mean that's a problematic matchup for me. So I'm a little biased in that sense. But like I've seen like the clips of like the damage and stuff that she's doing now, and like Scott said, it's not relegated to the corner now, right? It's kind of like, well, she can get this anywhere. So I'd say Aki, and then I was gonna put Akuma. Like I think just based on what I've seen so far, like I haven't run into Kens or Ryus like I said lately, but so I don't know. I would have to
everyone's ran into Akuma.
Yep.
90%.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because obviously, like, yeah, he's the flavor of the month and whatever. But like, I'm almost in the same boat with what Mike said. It's just like everybody thinks that he's great already, and it's just like, and they're just scratching the surface right now. So it's just like, I just think that eventually he's if he's a monster now, I'm like, I don't really see them kind of like really toning him down, and it's just like. I think it's just going to get worse from here.
Yeah, sure. Because at the end of the day, he's got a really good Shoto kit. Fireballs are great. Good damage on the uppercuts and basic combos are easy. But yeah, like, if nothing else, he'll be a good Shoto. If not, finding all sorts of other dumb shit he can do later
at the end of the day, he's going to be a top 5 character. 100% in my eyes.
Okay.
100%.
The jury's out for me with Akuma, where it's like right now we're all still getting used to the damage nerfs, and as we optimize around the damage nerfs, that health deficiency is going to become more apparent. And so I'm waiting for that dust to settle there. That's a coin flip for me. But I get it. Like he's really fucking good. I've been playing him for the past week. It's been a blast. Just adamant flaming everybody. Cool. All right, so to recap, Benny, it was Luke and Akuma and Aki, and then for Scott it was Aki, it was Guile, Luke, Aki, and then for Mike it was Geef and Akuma and Luke, right?
Yeah, not in that order. I don't think Geef's number 1.
It's one of our hearts, yeah.
Oh God, man.
Geef's number 1. I'm number 1.
And then for me, it was Guile, Ken, and Aki. So cool. We will see who is right at the end of this. Maybe we're all going to be like, oh, Aki ended up sucking ass or something. It'll be fun to watch, I think.
True.
But, any shout outs on the way out here, guys? We're going to close out the show. Scott, do you want to go first?
Just shout outs to you guys as usual. Thanks for having me on. It's always fun to talk about this stuff. Get my thoughts out there. Yeah, that's like not limited to X amount of characters on some social media garbage. So, yeah, appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you.
This is our platform too, man. Totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
Mike,
how about you? Any shout outs on the way out?
Shout outs to you guys, the lady next to me. And then, the whole Arizona scene, everybody's getting real strong. And it's cool because I haven't been participating a whole lot in it recently, but it's just still moving strong. So it's nice to see that it's not going to die anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yes. The scene is healthy. The scene is strong, I think.
So.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Cool. Well, this has been the Absolute Guard Podcast, episode 85 with Jon, Benny, Scott, and Mike. You can find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Spiral Series, YouTube at youtube.com/Spiral Series, and on Apple Podcasts and Spotify under Absolute Guard. Thanks, everybody. I can't talk. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye. Bye.